All right, all right. I am back at the Grit Won't Quit studio in Belmont, beautiful Belmont, New Jersey, and I have two special guests on today. I have to my left Gio. Say good morning, Gio.
Morning.
And I have to the right his dad, Justin.
Good morning, everybody.
So Gio has a business, and he's a young entrepreneur, and he sells pickles. GLG Gardens. So Gio, tell me how you got into this.
Well, when I was about 8 years ago,
8 years ago. All right.
I started gardening and making just pickles for fun, kind of.
So
And
gardening, when you got into gardening, I'm sure your dad's a gardener. What did you like about the gardening?
I like just being able to pick the cucumbers and stuff, and just being able to rinse them off and eating them.
Mm-hmm. So you're a fan of cucumbers. Is there anything else in that garden?
Yeah, there's peppers and eggplants and broccoli.
All right. So you're a gardener
Yeah, it's
You've
something I've
enjoyed
always enjoyed, yeah.
So do you do the basil too? So you can make pesto?
Yeah, we do. Our goal is to pretty much everything that we eat during the summer, we get
Comes
some
from-
protein and we go out in the garden and get it. So we have
awesome.
much more than he just named, but he named a few. So
Yep.
basil, yeah, we got basil.
All right, perfect. I like basil too. If you ever do anything with making pesto,
Okay.
call me for that too. So now you started with the pickles. So 8 years ago, you're a young guy. You and your dad spending some time in the garden, and you're washing off these cucumbers, and you're starting to eat them. Now, what made you take it from a cucumber, which is very simple out of the garden, to then bring it to become a pickle?
Um,
So we more or less we always have jars of pickles in the refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
and we for some reason always had the most success in the garden with cucumbers.
Okay.
You'd be shocked at with 8 cucumber seeds. Like the bags come
Mm-hmm.
for $3 with 50 cucumber seeds. With just 8 cucumber seeds,
Can do.
we're able to sell about 150, 200 jars of pickles with 8 cucumber seeds. So we were just getting so many cucumbers, and we always ate pickles. And we were like, why don't we just start making pickles? And then people started coming over and having our pickles, and we're like, these are good pickles.
Should I try a pickle?
sure. Yeah.
All right, which one should I try? The spicy sweet or the regular?
I think the spicy.
All right, let's try the spicy. I don't usually
Might
eat
get a
on
little-
camera, so let's try it. But listen, these look good. Smell good. You got a good smell to them. Let's dig right in now.
Good crunch.
Good crunch. These are good pickles. And they're kicking some heat. I like them.
So you got in the spicy, there's jalapenos and habanero peppers. That's and a little bit of red pepper flakes.
And they're good.
Yeah.
All right. These are very good. Sign me up every year that you make pickles. I'd like to buy them. And here, you're going to make some money today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So what have you learned about so this making pickles and washing them off is great, but there's a business here. So you've had to learn some things at a very young age.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've learned about how to sell the pickles, how to, I'm sure that there's some packaging and some costs involved in this, and your dad being a financial guy, I'm sure that he's trained you with a spreadsheet probably. Yeah. Shaking your head yes.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So,
So more or less, I'll give you a start. So we
Yeah.
in the beginning we were using mason jars,
Okay.
which we found they weren't being returned to us. So we were always trying to work on cutting down the expenses and the cost associated with making the pickles.
Okay.
It also used to take us a lot more time because we were making the batch of brine 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
In small batches. So we obviously now we go out and use the turkey fryer, and we make a huge batch, and then we put them in small jugs in the fridge because obviously I have other things that we're doing and
Yeah.
sports and work and all those things. So
It always cuts
we've
into
bet
it.
every year we fine tune it a little bit, but we do have an Excel sheet that keeps track of all of our expenses.
Perfect.
So we know the cost per jar has gone down dramatically from when we started till now. We've also used to buy all the, we used to grow the cucumbers
Yeah.
and buy the dill, buy the garlic, buy the jalapenos. Now we grow that all. So we have more quality control. Like we know where they're coming from. So everything in here was in the ground on Tuesday.
Wow.
So it's fresh, it's quality, and we're not wasting time having to go to the store as much, and we're not wasting time spending money at the store when we can just go grab it.
You know, in the business world, like in my world, we call that cutting down the supply chain. We're now running the supply chain. So you're essentially doing things that took me 20 years to learn. You know, when I go out and I source vendors, you know, I'm trying to get to the lowest end of the supply chain so I can get my best cost. You're doing this by, you know, planting everything and growing everything yourself. So it took me 20 years to learn in a college education, you know, with you and your dad through the garden, you're getting this done much quicker.
And you came up with the label idea. So when we went to purchase the labels, costs have gone up. Costs have gone up everywhere. So when we went to print the labels for this year, we had noticed a pretty substantial increase.
Yeah. And
the cost per label was like 80 cents or something like that. And we, you know, like I said, we sell a lot of pickles. So what was your idea there?
So my idea was to get like white labels and then use the printer and print them on.
All right.
So
how's that going?
Good.
So we basically have like the cost went to like pennies now. So we just bought the printers with the labels and just printed them at home instead of ordering them from like Walgreens or whatever.
And then also, I mean, realistically, I saw in a video you have a younger brother, so you can employ him to be the pickle sticker guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you how are you delegating some of the work, because you have a lot to do with the pickle operation?
So like normally he cuts up like the cucumbers, and then we put them in the jars, and then I put all the spices in, and then the labels on the lids.
Perfect. Now, do you have an exact recipe for how much spices, or do you just kind of do it by eyeball?
Normally put like 3 jalapenos, like a couple pieces of garlic, and then like just like a random amount of the rest.
All right. That's great. Now, what have you learned that I found out about your pickles through Facebook? So your dad posted something about how great you and your brother were doing with the pickles. So now how do you get other customers?
Normally off of Facebook and like some friends. Yeah.
And repeat customers from previous years.
Yeah, I'm going to be a repeat customer. So you just, you know, when you're ready to start, you know, soliciting customers for next year, let me know, because I'd like to buy them again. After trying one, I like it a lot. Now, what do you do? Like, so you've learned a lot of lessons about business and about through working and through, you know, being outdoors. And, you know, how have you kind of translated that into what you do with some of the profits?
Well, with most of the profits, we put like, once we get them, we put them into like stocks.
Okay.
And stuff.
So you're now a stock investor too.
Yeah.
So you've taken some of your earnings and now you've invested in stocks. And what are some of the stocks that you have purchased?
So we've gotten Amazon because my mom buys a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Shout out to your mom. She just got thrown under the bus there. But okay. So she buys a lot of stuff at Amazon. And what are some of the other things that you have
I've gotten like Tesla and Netflix and Disney.
So you're looking at products that like you and your family use. So like, you know, you like Disney probably, and you guys watch Netflix at home, and your mom gets a lot of stuff from Amazon. So that's great. So products that you guys like, that you and your family like, are what you're investing in.
Yeah.
My uncle always used to say that. He said, pick your favorite clothing manufacturer. When I was a young guy, I was in my 20s, and I bought Abercrombie and Fitch at the time. And he said to me, I think stocks that that people like and that you see people wearing and doing and using are great stocks because they have Main Street appeal. So you and my uncle have the same philosophy on how to invest. Is there any other stocks that you like?
That's about it.
All right, cool. So what other business lessons, if we could teach other young entrepreneurs like yourself, so we've talked about social media, the branding. How'd you come up with the logo?
One day, like when we started making them, me and my sister just started like drawing logos for it.
Okay.
And we just picked one of them to use.
All right, and then you got it.
So they drew like pickles with arms and
Yeah.
legs, like there were people next to each other, and then we had the red one was for the spicy,
Yeah, sure.
and then we just went on, on images somewhere
Yeah.
online and found the logo and kind of put our twist on it.
I love it. So, so you've done a great job. What else would you want to tell a future entrepreneur about your endeavors, about working with your brother and your sister and your dad, to make this, little pickle empire here?
So I'll give you a couple things that we've talked about, obviously.
I don't want to put pressure on you.
No
today.
pressure.
I mean,
So what, like, a lot of the lessons that I think are important in this is, like, in any business, your business, whether you're whatever you're selling or your business owner, like, everything's about, like, it's corny, but it's about planting seeds. Like, we do it. I met you through, like, a networking. Like, everything we're doing is planting seeds, and at the end of the day, like, nourishing relationships. And I feel like this generation, patience, disciplined, like, daily, like, you have to water them daily. You have to go out and weed. Like, it's discipline, it's patience, it's, we call it seed to stocks, because we're literally planting cucumber seeds and it ends up going into his stock account.
I like that.
The immediate gratification nowadays, where you, like, do something and want immediate results.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't exist with a garden. Like, you have to go out and do little annoying things every day, every week, whether it's weeding, making sure they're getting the right sun. You'd be surprised, like, some vegetable plants can't be planted next to each other. So it's always like you're learning. And you're, with what we're doing here as far as, like, cutting costs, and we now have, like, an automated email that goes out when people buy it, thanking for the order. We have a CRM system where we have previous, we have all our previous people who bought. So when there's new pickles, like, we almost do, like, an announcement, like, pickles are here, and we've sold 60 like this. Like, and that's just all people who have bought last year.
Yeah.
They're, like, almost waiting. So we've also, like, automated the watering. So we purchased, like, an irrigation thing off of Amazon for, like, $100, because we have some vegetables on this side and some on this side. So it's really annoying to go, like, on this side, and it takes a while. So we spent $100, and we have one whole side just automated with sprinklers, and it's on a timer from our phones. Because, like, we have a lot to do,
Yeah, sure.
with schoolwork and balancing life. So by using the turkey fryer, making the big bat, like, we're able to get cucumbers into pickles in, like, 10 minutes now, because we have, like, it's everything streamlined and automated. So there's, like, a lot of little business and life lessons that I feel like we're, kind of going through.
And you learn how to work as a team. You have some ideas maybe you disagree with your brother and your sister and your dad on, but you got to work it out and come up with, that's part of business. I think that's one of the biggest things in business, is learning how to work together. So and you've cut costs. I love the fact that you've started growing and you cut the supply chain down. This is awesome. So what's the plan? Is the plan to add additional type pickles, or you can just stick with the two and run with those?
I think just stick with these two.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've discussed it in our board meetings, me and him, when we talk about this, like, about maybe we just want to get great at the two things, and then we're thinking about it. We also introduced something called their cowboy candies. I don't know if you've ever heard, but they're candied jalapenos.
Oh, wow.
Which had been a big hit. It's, and they're another vegetable that, like, you plant a few jalapeno plants, like, you can really get a ton out of it. So once we get a little bit more brand loyalty, we might expand to another products, but I think we're just going to continue to be great at spicy and the garlic.
Great. Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Let people know where they could find you on Facebook, so that if anybody's interested in buying your pickles or reaching out and learning more about the pickles, they can find you.
So it's GLG Gardens is our Facebook page.
Perfect. Is there any last minute thoughts you want to, before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on today. And these pickles were awesome. I appreciate you coming in at 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. But this was great. And have a great day. Have a great rest of the summer, and keep doing great things.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.